The ball left Drake Maye's hand, wobbled just enough to raise eyebrows, and in that exact moment, the New England Patriots' Super Bowl dream quietly changed forever. Nobody said it out loud. Nobody needed to. Because when a quarterback's shoulder is compromised, the truth always leaks out eventually. And right now, the Patriots are standing on the edge of the biggest game of the season with a secret they may not be able to protect much longer. This isn't just another injury update. This is the story of how one hit, one awkward collision in the third quarter against Denver, might have altered the trajectory of a franchise that finally found its next superstar. And before you think this is media overreaction, listen closely, because one of the most trusted voices in sports medicine isn't guessing. He's warning, David J. Chao didn't hesitate. No stalling. No hedging. His words cut straight through the noise when he said there is no question in his mind that Drake Maye injured his right throwing shoulder in the AFC Championship game. Not a tweak. Not soreness. An injury. The kind that quarterbacks play through until they can't anymore. And here's the part that should make Patriots fans uneasy. Chao didn't say if it was minor. He didn't say it was severe. He said he's still gathering data, which in football terms usually means teams aren't being transparent, game tape doesn't lie, and the real answer is sitting somewhere behind closed doors at Gillette. Watch that third quarter again. Maye takes the hit. He gets up. He stays in. And suddenly the stat line looks nothing like the MVP-caliber quarterback New England rode all season. 10 completions, 21 attempts, 86 passing yards, 5 sacks, 1 rushing touchdown that felt more like survival than strategy. Now here's where this gets interesting. The Patriots still won. They still punched their ticket to the Super Bowl. And that, more than anything, is why this story matters. Because when a team wins, injuries get buried. When banners are coming, concerns get labeled as maintenance. And when your quarterback is the face of a new era, you protect the narrative at all costs. But the numbers don't lie. Drake Maye didn't suddenly forget how to throw. He didn't become inaccurate overnight. What changed was confidence in his arm. You could see it in the play calling. Short throws. Conservative reads. Designed runs to keep the chains moving without stressing the shoulder. This was an offense quietly adapting on the fly. Mike Vrabel knows what this moment is. He's been here before. He understands that championships aren't just about talent, they're about managing damage. And right now, his most valuable asset is limping toward the biggest stage in football. Remember where this season started. A first-year head coach walking into a post-Dynasty locker room. A sophomore quarterback carrying expectations that crush most players before Thanksgiving. And somehow, against logic and against history, it all worked. The Patriots didn't just survive the AFC East. They owned it. They didn't sneak into the playoffs. They dominated their way to a conference title. Drake Maye was the engine. For 1,394 passing yards. 31 touchdowns. 17 games of command, poise, and growth that turned skeptics into believers. By December, defenses were adjusting. By January, they were still losing. And now, he's one of 5 finalists for league MVP in just his second season. That's not supposed to happen in New England anymore. That was supposed to be the past. And yet here they are, staring at another Lombardi opportunity, while quietly holding their breath every time Maye drops back. David J. Chao made one more comparison that flew under the radar, but shouldn't have. He said he's way more concerned about Drake Maye's right shoulder than Sam Darnold's oblique. Think about that. Obliques sideline quarterbacks. Shoulders end seasons. And sometimes careers. The Patriots haven't confirmed anything. They won't. They don't have to. This organization has always believed in information control. But football is a violent truth teller. If the shoulder limits velocity, defensive coordinators will notice. If it affects accuracy, the margin for error disappears. And if pain becomes inflammation, the Super Bowl becomes a risk calculation instead of a celebration. Here's the real dilemma. Do you trust your franchise quarterback to push through pain on the biggest stage? Or do you protect him, adjust the offense, and hope your defense can carry the load? Because once that ball sails too long or dies too early, the other sideline will smell blood. What makes this situation even more intense is timing. This isn't week 6. This isn't a divisional matchup you can grind through and recover later. This is it. One game. One legacy-defining moment. And for Drake Maye, this Super Bowl could either cement his arrival among the elite or introduce the first real question mark of his career. Fans want reassurance. Coaches want privacy. Doctors want imaging. And quarterbacks want the ball. Somewhere in that tug of war sits the truth, waiting to surface under the brightest lights imaginable. The Patriots have been here before, just not like this. In the Brady era, injuries were footnotes. Now, the quarterback is the story again, but in a way nobody wants. Maye isn't declining. He's ascending. And that's why this feels so fragile. You don't accidentally end up in MVP conversations. You don't accidentally lead a team to a conference championship in year 2. Drake Maye earned every ounce of this moment, which makes the idea of a compromised shoulder feel unfair, almost cruel. But football has never cared about fairness. It cares about availability, velocity, and execution. And right now, all three are under a microscope in Foxborough. The hit in the third quarter didn't look catastrophic. It rarely does. Quarterback injuries often happen in the ordinary chaos of the pocket. A shoulder driven into turf. A helmet landing just wrong. And suddenly, every throw after that carries weight. The Patriots adjusted well enough to beat Denver. The Broncos pressured. They sacked. They hit. And they couldn't finish. A better opponent might not be so forgiving. As Super Bowl week approaches, every practice rep will be analyzed. Every report will be vague. Every answer will be coach speak. And Drake Maye will do what quarterbacks always do. He'll say he's fine. The question is whether fine is enough. Because the Super Bowl doesn't reward bravery. It rewards precision. And if that shoulder robs even 5% of his ability, that 5% could be the difference between confetti and regret. So here's the moment of truth for New England. Do you believe in the kid enough to let him empty the tank? Or do you quietly redesign everything to protect him from himself? One thing is certain. Chao didn't speak by accident. He spoke because he saw something that couldn't be unseen. And now the rest of us are watching, waiting for the reveal that football always delivers eventually. Drake Maye's story isn't over. It's just entering its most dangerous chapter. And now I want to hear from you. Do you think the Patriots are downplaying this injury, or is Drake Maye about to shock the world on one shoulder in the Super Bowl? The silence from New England right now is louder than any press conference. No updates. No timelines. No reassurance beyond the usual phrases teams use when they're hoping time does their job for them. And that's exactly why this situation feels heavier than a normal injury scare. Because if this were nothing, we'd already know it. Inside the Patriots building, every decision this week revolves around one question that nobody wants to answer publicly. How do you prepare for a Super Bowl when your quarterback's arm might not be fully trustworthy? Think about how quickly things can change at this level. 1 week ago, Drake Maye was being talked about as the future face of the league. A poised, fearless quarterback who didn't blink under pressure. A player who made the Patriots relevant again faster than anyone expected. Now, the conversation has shifted from greatness to durability, from ceiling to survival. And that shift matters. Because once doubt creeps in, it changes how defenses play you. If opposing coordinators believe Maye can't drive the ball outside the numbers, they'll crowd the middle. If they think his shoulder limits deep throws, safeties will inch forward. Windows will close faster. Hits will come harder. That's how injuries snowball. What makes this even more fascinating is how unpatriot-like this moment feels. This franchise built its legacy on preparation, control, and minimizing uncertainty. And yet here they are, walking into the biggest game of the year with more unanswered questions than they've had in a decade. Drake Maye has never looked rattled. Not in hostile environments. Not in late-game drives. Not when defenses sent pressure from every angle. But pain is different. Pain doesn't care about confidence or film study. It shows up mid-throw, mid-read, mid-moment. You can already imagine the Super Bowl script if things go wrong. A missed deep shot early. A throw that hangs just long enough to get picked. Cameras zooming in on Maye flexing his shoulder on the sideline. Commentators speculating in real time. The narrative flipping instantly. And that's the nightmare scenario New England is trying to outrun. But there's another side to this story that can't be ignored. Quarterbacks have played through worse. Legends are made in moments like these. And if Drake Maye finds a way to rise above the pain, to deliver when everything is stacked against him, this injury scare won't weaken his legacy. It will strengthen it. This is where careers pivot. Mike Vrabel understands that better than most. He knows toughness is currency in this league. He also knows recklessness can cost you years. Every snap Drake Maye takes from here on out will be a calculated risk, weighed against the future of the franchise. Because let's be clear, this isn't just about one Super Bowl. This is about the next 10 years. Drake Maye isn't a rental. He's the foundation. And foundations don't get rushed back without consequences. Yet football doesn't wait. Windows don't stay open. Opportunities don't come with guarantees of return. The Patriots are here now. And they may not be back this soon again. That's the pressure sitting on Maye's right shoulder right now. Not just physical strain, but historical weight. Every Patriots fan remembers how rare these moments have become. Every veteran in that locker room knows how fleeting Super Bowl chances are. So when Drake Maye steps onto that field, injured or not, he won't just be playing an opponent. He'll be playing expectations, fear, and time itself. And that's why this story isn't just about medical reports or practice participation. It's about identity. Is this the team that protects its future at all costs? Or the team that trusts its leader to write his own legend? Because if Drake Maye goes out there and delivers, shoulder and all, this conversation disappears forever. It becomes trivia, a footnote, another example of why he's different. But if the injury shows up when it matters most, the questions won't stop. They'll multiply. And every big game from here on out will come with the same quiet fear that's the reality of playing quarterback in the NFL. Every throw tells a story. And right now, Drake Maye's arm is telling one that the Patriots are desperately hoping has a happy ending. So as the Super Bowl approaches, remember this. The most important battle won't be between helmets. It'll be inside one player's shoulder. And the outcome of that battle could define an era. Let me know what you think. Should the Patriots let Drake Maye play free and aggressive despite the risk? Or should they protect him and play it safe on the biggest stage in football?